What's going on, guys? Jake Tiesler with the latest Mustang and automotive news. Today's video, I wanted to cover a couple things about the Mach 1. So if you don't already know, Ford is releasing a Mach 1. I know I made a previous video, but there's a couple things that have changed. Well, for one, it looks like it's going to have 525 horsepower and 450 pounds of torque. Also, we've got these photos that I haven't seen before over at Ford Authority. So you got to go over to Ford Authority to check these out. But I just wanted to talk about this. So I'll show you those photos in a second. But first, let's talk about 450 foot-pounds of torque out of the 5-liter when the GT350 only has 429. Okay? So they've got a comparison over here too also at Ford Authority. But basically, they broke it down for you. So basically 400. So I've got a 2015 Mustang GT and it's got 435 horsepower. Okay, and I've got the 6-speed manual PP1. I've actually driven I drove a convertible 2018 with a 460 horsepower that has the 10-speed auto. And I'll tell you what, that car was significantly faster than my 2015 Mustang GT with 435 horsepower, because the torque is increased on the new generation engine, plus it has a 10-speed automatic. And what that 10-speed automatic does, it shortens the gear ratio. It gives you more torque. It's more punchy. It takes this smaller engine that has a little bit less torque than the competitors like the Camaro or the Corvette, because of the smaller displacements, 5-liter versus a 6.2, and that 10-speed helps that engine spin up a little bit higher, faster, keep it in the power range. And you know, when you're talking about how a car feels on the street, that 10-speed really helps out a lot. So why am I talking about that? Well, you know, because really the price is going to be similar on the GT350 versus the Mach 1. So the Mach 1 is actually going to have 450 foot-pounds torque, roughly. We'll see. But these have actually been, these estimates usually, I'm really surprised. When people were talking about 760 horsepower out of the GT500, I thought they were being very generous, very optimistic, but when people were saying that, I thought 700, 720, I think that was the teaser video and stuff like this. So there's reason to believe that this will actually have 525 horsepower. I mean, we're talking 500 horsepower plus out of a 5.0 Mustang. This is crazy, right? Crazy times. So essentially, I was getting at is the GT350 is a great track engine. It's a great track car, but for as far as like, I mean, I can't say this flat out. I can just say my experience from driving my Mustang and then driving a 2018 that has the 10-speed auto that has more torque. But, you know, what makes a car fun to drive on the street, I've driven tons of cars, is torque. And I can compare it to my old Fiesta ST. I bought a 2014 Fiesta ST brand new in 2014. It was silver, had the Recaros, the dark wheels, the sunroof, the moonroof, and the nav. I bought all the options. And I tell you what, when I bought that car, a year later, I wanted to get the 2015 Mustang GT. Ford was on a roll. I was like, I want to get a new GT as well. So I went and drove it. And I was disappointed. The car looked amazing. The reason I was disappointed is because the Fiesta ST is so fun to drive. What makes the Fiesta ST so fun to drive is that it has this huge torque shove that when you hit the throttle, that boost kicks in. It's got a really small turbo. That boost kicks in and hits, and the front tires will spin. It'll spin in first gear. It'll spin in second gear. And that's like non-linear power delivery. Now, is that the most effective way? Well, who cares? I don't care if it's the most effective power delivery. I don't care if it's the best way to get down the drag strip, because I don't drive at the drag strip. I drive to the grocery store. I drive to my clients. I drive down the canyons. So I don't care if it's the most effective way to do it. All I care about is it fun. So I can't see the GT. I haven't driven one, but I can't see that the GT350 would be significantly more fun to drive than a 525 horsepower 5-liter that has more torque. That's the point that I'm getting at. The torque has to be an important factor when deciding like how a car feels. If you have to rev if you've ever driven an S2000 that redlines like 8,000 RPMs, it's not that fun on the street. It's probably fun because it's a small car, but as far as like, mashing the gas at 2,500 RPMs, it doesn't do anything. It's not going to spin the tires. It's not going to get sideways on you. The Fiesta would just blow the tires off at will whenever you wanted to. So that's what makes a fun car, is having this non-linear power delivery. And when you have this 8,000 RPM red line, and then the next thing is the gearing ratio. If you have gears that are so long, like in the GT350, it's not going to be that fun to drive. Honestly, it's not going to be that fun to drive. Long gearing plus a linear power delivery is probably great for the racetrack because you don't have to shift as much and yada yada yada. But it's not a fun daily driver or track car. It's just boring. You're just you stomp the gas at 3,000. It doesn't do anything. It takes a while. Then you have to wait 10 seconds to shift. No, you want to jam. You want to hit the gas at low RPMs, blow the tires off, have to shift real fast, blow the tires out, have to shift real fast. That's what makes it fun. Have to shift. Every 2 seconds versus only shifting every 10 seconds, and then. Like I was saying, the GT350, you're going 70 miles an hour in first gear or something crazy. Like, I know it's not 70 miles an hour, but you get the point. Like, first gear goes so long. Yeah, I would much rather have this car. So let's talk about the looks. I'm not saying I'd much rather have. I like the GT350. Trust me. The other thing I can say, I've never actually driven one, so I can just say, based on my experience of driving hundreds of cars, basically, and owning like maybe 40 different ones, that I can get a pretty good. I have been surprised on some cars, but from my experience going from the Fiesta ST to the S550 and being very underwhelmed and how fun it is to drive. But the Fiesta ST was one of the best cars, most fun cars ever. It's in the last 10 years probably. It's like more fun than a Miata. If you look at the Auto Journalist, that's what they drive. They own those cars. It's the Fiesta STs and stuff like that. So, I've been wrong, but I'm assuming that the engine sound is probably one of the most fun things about this. So what the next thing that I wanted to get at, so the GT350 will sound better, but I can promise you that the 5-liter that has more torque will be as much fun to drive. There's something unique about the GT350 engine that I'm sure there will be a lot of loyalists, but as far as driving and torque around the city, this will be much fun, probably more fun. But what I wanted to really get at was look at this. This is beautiful, man. This has got the GT350 wing, GT500 exhaust, Cup 2 tires, the best looking wheels from Ford that I've ever seen on a Mustang S550 chassis, other than the PP2 wheels. I think these are better than the PP2 wheels. It's going to have a PP2 splitter on the front. And people saying that this is just an appearance package are wrong. It's going to have a ton more horsepower. It's going to have more aggressive aero. It's going to have GT350 aero, wheels, tires, brakes, suspension, and as much horsepower as the GT350. So what do you want? Basically, that's it. And it's going to look a heck of a lot better than the Bullet. The Bullet was just a little tune and appearance package. This is like a full-on thing, guys. This is a totally different thing. Look at Ford's website. They're in the frickin' track with Sparkos and a helmet on and a roll cage. like rolling over on the tires. You know what I'm saying? So these guys are putting in wheel time, and they're trying to get this thing to compete with everyone else. Cars are getting faster and faster and faster. But what a day and age that we live in when the 5-liter Mustang is making 525 horsepower. It is crazy. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Would you rather have... The other thing is, are they going to put the Tremec in this car, or are they going to put the MT82? I hope that they put the Tremec. I hope that they don't put these long gears in there, because that's what makes it not fun, in my opinion. I like the PP2, the PP1, like I have, first generation S550 with the Performance Package 1, has a very short, it's got 373 gears. And if you don't know, in 2018, they revised the manual transmission. It has different gear ratios. So if you have the PP1 from a 2015 to 2017, the gear ratio in first gear, all the gear, I don't know which gears are different, but I know the gear ratios are different, especially first gear. So my first gear is really short, but it's actually kind of fun, okay? I complain about it shifting so much from first to second in traffic, but you're shifting a lot. You have to go through the gears pretty fast in the first gen S550, and it kind of makes it fun. So I hope they get the gear ratios right if they do this. I hope it actually has a good manual transmission. I hope that they do offer the 10-speed, because the 10-speed with this is going to be killer. It'll be super fast. I don't think they'll put the DCT, but maybe they can. Maybe they've got the numbers worked out where they can get the DCTs priced right and get them in these cars and sell them for. You don't want to make this more expensive than the GT350. That's the problem, right? So if you put the DCT, you're going to be making it more expensive than the GT350. So you don't want to, unless they're getting rid of the GT350 or something like that. But the Mach 1 will just be the most bad 5-liter that you can get, and that's their plans, and that's what it looks like. They're taking all the GT350 parts and putting it on this. So this is the real deal, guys. I think this is awesome. I'm really looking forward to this. The Bullet, I was like, yeah, I like the green and whatnot, but I wasn't real impressed with the chrome window trim. I just thought it was appearance packages. It didn't do much for me. This, yeah, definitely. I would definitely. This is way more power. It's track capable, and if they put the auto instead of that 6-speed with the gear ratios that are too long, I like this. I'm down with this for sure. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, I do Mustang and automotive news, and go over to Ford Authority and check these photos out, because I think I didn't see, Ford didn't release these photos. I don't know where they got these at, but they're over on Moto 1 also. But look at the offset. I mean, this is going to be a killer. Look how sexy that thing looks. Such a tough looking car. I think they should just sell them in this camo wrap. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know. I read all the comments and reply. Let me know, would you rather have the Mach 1 for $10,000 less than the GT350, or would you rather have the GT350? All right, guys, thanks for watching the video, and let me know down in the comment section what you think. I always reply to the comments. I read everything. Also, I'm going to put some links in there with some of the most common products that I use. So if you want to support the channel, go ahead and click through those links and check out some of the recommended stuff. All right, guys, catch you in the next video. Stay tuned.